Hello, hello. I am Jay Kinner, and this is Random Stories I Found on My Phone. It's my regular Wednesday feature wherein I attempt to beguile you with, well, a random, mostly off the cut story inspired by whatever, why the heck did I snap this image that I found in the depths of my Photos app. So, today's photo, let me show you that. Not prepared, am I? It's right here. It's actually also, this one's actually on my wall. Can y'all see that? It is one of those little signs for pedestrian crossings, but instead of being a regular sign, it says total crisis panic button, start running, danger is imminent, don't think, stay fearful and alert, and obey orders. All right. This one isn't completely and entirely random because I took a picture of that because of that. I mean, I'd never really seen anything like that before. So weird, right? I mean, that's weird. The story around that picture is even weirder. Well, the story around the sign and the picture. So I got to tell you the true story part first, and then we'll go back to the random story. The true story is actually also random in that I stumbled across that picture um, while swiping through old photos, but it has the real story that I'm going to tell you. And then we're going to see what we can make of it and turning it into like a romance or something. So here's the deal. I worked as an attorney in Los Angeles, some of you may know, for a while. And even though I'm pretty sure that the story I'm about to tell you happened when I'd already moved back to Texas, I could be misremembering something, but I don't think so because of one element in my memory. But anyway, our story begins, whether I was living there or not, in Los Angeles. Um, Beverly Hills, actually, to be exact. I was there fake shopping on Rodeo Drive. Fake because I'm not particularly into high fashion. I'd rather shop at thrift and consignment stores, but it's really fun to wander around in that area. So I was hanging out with my high school bestie, Steve, and we were just having a great afternoon. So at one point, we're about a block off Rodeo Drive, and we're talking as we move through the clusters of everybody's shopping and all their shopping bags and whatnot. And then I see that sign, and we're talking as we move, and I keep noticing it. I keep interrupting our conversation so I can take a look at it and read the thing. It's mounted on, the pedestrian signal thingy that gives you the walk, don't walk sign. And it says exactly what it said in the photo, what I read to you guys. So it's not exactly the normal stuff you see on a crosswalk sign. And it's metal, it's official looking, it is installed there. It's not like someone just duct taped it there. Um, and so I thought it was a hoot. I mean, so did he. Some folks didn't even notice. I don't remember our exact conversation. This would have been in the early 2000s, so it's been a minute. But I was baffled by how someone managed to take down the real signage and put this there instead. I mean, it looked like real signage and it was metal and the whole meal deal. At any rate, we crossed the street when the little mocking man came on, and I don't think we ran, not really believing that danger was imminent, and we went back to our day of high-end window shopping. But it came back up over and over again in conversations throughout my trip. And when I was leaving, I bemoaned the fact that I didn't take a picture of that. I really wanted a picture of that. Um, this was clearly pre iPhone because even if I did have a cell phone at a time, and I'm sure I did, it must not have had a camera phone on it, or I would have taken a picture. Anyway, my trip continued. Lovely time. Went home to Texas. Yeah, I was definitely living in Texas at the time. And I told Steve that I just couldn't stop thinking of that sign. I mean, it's like a walking tinderbox for story ideas. And I teased that he should sneak back in the dead of night and steal it for me. And we laughed about that, and I forgot all about it. Meanwhile, I am now practicing law in Austin, Texas. And one day I come home and I found a package in the mail. It's, in a padded envelope, about, yay big. And I go inside and I open it with my husband, and what should come out of that package but that sign? The picture that I showed you is what I snapped after I hung it on my wall. So that yellow background is the wall that I am literally looking at right now. And that sign is right there. Hello, sign. Yes, I'm talking about you. Um, so, of course, I call Los Angeles. Yeah, he was still living in Los Angeles then. I call him and I said, "Oh my God, I cannot believe that you did that. You actually snuck out there and took this thing down and you mailed it to me." Um, I don't remember if I checked the postmark or not, but I probably did, and it would have been from LA or else I would have remembered it. So anyway, he's been one of my closest friends since high school, and we were roomies in college. And so when he swore that he did not do this and has sworn repeatedly over the years that he did not do this, I believed him. But in that case, who did? Where did it come from? Who sent it? And how did they know my address? It's still a mystery. It's freaky, right? I mean, there's a story right there. There is a random story that I can make up about that, about, what happened to me. But you know what? I think we can get actually even freakier. So here's what I'm thinking. Um, Someone sees the sign now. We'll pretend it was never taken by my, you know, felonious little friend invisible friend who sent it to me. Um, so we're not 20 years ago, we're now, and there's a woman coming home from work in that area, and she's sitting there waiting to cross, with everybody else. Everyone looks exhausted. They're just coming off a long shift, and we will call our heroine Evie. Um, we'll name her that after my grandmother. And so she used to do computer coding work in city planning. I've got an idea for this. This is sort of going to go in a kind of well, never mind. We'll see how we get there. Okay, so, um, and so she'd actually recognizes the sign because it popped up in like some conversation they had in city planning or something. And um, she was talking with her boss about there's this that whole AI thing. She was really concerned about AI kind of screwing with traffic planning and whatnot. So, and somebody had started talking in the kind of language that's on that sign, danger is imminent, stay fearful and alert. Ooh, AI's coming, AI's coming. And so she thinks about all this stuff as she gets there. And but she's also thinking, wow, the project that where they were going to use AI to kind of run the system must have happened. So she gets the start running signal, and everyone starts to bolt out there. And she's like, well, she's not going to be the only one walking through. So she's going to zip across the street too. And somebody grabs the back of her shirt and pulls her back. Um, and so that's going to be our hero. But they don't like each other. They used to work together to do the planning, and now he tells her that the program that they had set up originally has become self-aware. Yeah, I know. I'm totally stealing from Skynet, but these things happen. So, and she doesn't believe him at first, but then he's talking about how the signs keep popping up for the obey orders and do all of this. And if you don't, then it changes while you're in the midst of crossing the street and people are getting mowed down. So they basically have to, and I'm running out of thoughts here. This is clearly not my best random story, but the real story was pretty cool, right? Okay, so anyway, um, he sneaks her down into the bowels of the city where this Skynet kind of thing lives. And she and this guy, her former nemesis, who are forming a connection by working together, um, battle this AI that's taken over. And throughout the course of it, they fall in love. Maybe he sacrifices himself for her, which means it's not really a romance because romance has a happy ending. But or maybe he sacrifices himself and then she falls in love with the AI. I don't know. A lot of ways to go with this. Gotta say, probably not one that I'm thinking I'm gonna write like some of the others I've done. They could be fun. This one is yeah, this one is more a trip down memory lane. But there you go. One weird sign, two random stories, one weird and true, and the other one made up and a mystery, but sort of the whole theme of fighting AI. It's no longer fighting the man, fighting AI. So I think there can be a lot of stories that come from that. Anyway, I hope you were amused. I hope you think the sign's cool, because I do. And we will try to up the bar next week. Okay, talk to you guys later. Ciao.